3, 2, 1, here we go. Hey, Fulton, good to see you today, my man.
What's happening, Dr. Scott?
It's all good.
Good.
It's good to be here. It's good to see you.
Absolutely, you too.
We made it through Memorial Weekend.
Yes. How was yours?
It was great.
Good.
I had a great time. It was low-key. Hung out with the family, the kids. Got a little sun.
Nice.
How about you?
It's about the same. Family and friends, it's a very important, we say holiday. It's actually a celebration of life. Memorial Day has a lot of meaning to a lot of people. It touches a lot of people's lives and a lot of people's hearts. And, we're no different there. So it was good to spend the time with family and friends and the ones we care about. So thank you for asking.
Yep, it was awesome. Well, good. So we got a few things we want to talk about. You sent me a message. You sent me a message.
I did.
A picture of one of my favorite people I've been following since I was a kid. When I was training to fight.
Yes.
Who's the best fighter? You learn from the best fighter. A knockout artist. A killer.
Yes.
Mike Tyson.
And Mike Tyson, he did.
Mike Tyson. So we're going to talk about that. I definitely want to talk about that because he's involved in the same stuff that you and I have been talking about.
We do it every day.
We do it every day. We do it for people here in Myrtle Beach in the Grand Strand area. We've had a number of people come in from the PD area.
Good.
Out in Dillon County and Florence. So, we want to talk about that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Dave. Dave, you sound so good on the radio. Anyway, we're doing that regenerative medicine. That's what you sent me. You sent me a picture of Mike Tyson.
I did.
Involved in some regenerative medicine, just like we've been doing for the past 3 years in Myrtle Beach. I didn't read the article. I wanted to talk to you about it.
Yes. So, ironically, I received this morning a picture of Mike Tyson right after he had received his exosome treatment. So a lot of people aren't going to understand what exosomes are right off the top of their head. They've probably never even heard of it, but you and I do. We've worked with it for quite a while now. We see the results, and now you're seeing big people like Big Mike, Iron Mike, get his exosome therapy, his treatment as well. So that's fantastic news. It's a very big component.
That is awesome. Well, we've seen, if you follow back regenerative medicine for the past decade, we see the celebrities getting involved in regenerative medicine first.
They do it first.
Yeah, they do it first, mainly because they have the resources.
Yes.
There's the money there in the beginning, especially 5-10 years ago. It was costing $50,000 overseas to do something now we can do now for $5,000 right here in Myrtle Beach. And so they have the resources. They actually have the connections and the intellect. Because they got the best scientists and trainers in the world trying to keep some of these celebrities and professional athletes, most important, trying to keep them operating. So I'm not surprised to see it. We see it all the time, but it's pretty exciting to see Mike Tyson to be involved in something like that. He's also involved in medical marijuana growing. So he's kind of in this outside of the box,
new age,
and it's not really new age. It's actually old age, just in a new environment, in a new culture. Because these are all, even the regenerative medicine with the exosomes, stem cell derived exosomes, the plant based medicine. That's ancient. That's ancient stuff that's been suppressed and been hidden. Some say purposefully. Really driven by the pharmaceutical companies going back 100 years. The pharmaceutical industry and mainstream medicine is only about 100 years old. Started way back in the early 1900s when they started labeling anyone who did anything other than medication. I think it stemmed from the Rockefellers, big money people. Anything other than medicine and taking pills, they call them quacks, witches, etc. And now, because such high failure rate in medicine, and then where we see right now, even with the current coronavirus, COVID-19, the healthcare system and the medical system is definitely subpar. People are starting to wake up and realize what I realized when I was 16 years old. That if I don't get myself healthy and if I don't use things natural that are actually going to get me healthier, everything they do to me is going to make me worse.
No doubt. And, once again, you've said a lot in a very few words there. You know, as we look back over the history of healthcare and medicine, it was done at home, and it was learned trait that was passed down from generation to generation. And over the past 100 years, medicine has changed significantly. And you and I have talked about this before, and also many times. What we see are these doctors. You go to the doctor, he diagnoses you, he writes you a prescription, and you go home and you take a pill. And that's just not the best technique for giving you the best life, the best well-being that you deserve. Once again, as you were talking about Mike Tyson and him getting this exosome treatment, you and I talk about the science all the time. You and I discuss what's taking place, how it's taking place, and then the regulatory. We always have to keep regulatory, what the FDA is doing, in mind with every step of the way. But the good thing about Mike Tyson doing this is he is vocal and he is out in front of people and he wants people to see his results. You and I know he's going to have positive results. Why? Because we know the product he's used.
We see it every day.
We see it every day, not only with him, but with the people we work with. You and I work with people every day. This is what we do.
Hey, I got a story about stem cell-derived exosomes with a patient just this week. But
let me hear.
Before I tell you, let's make sure we tell everybody what stem cell-derived exosomes are. Here's what they are. You may have an idea. I know you've heard of stem cells. All right, but stem cells are little, in a sense, baby cells, immature cells who don't know what they want to do when they grow up. You put them in an environment, for example, the knee, the shoulder, anywhere in the body. They're smart cells, and they recognize signals in the body, chemical and neurological signals in the body of what is needed in that area for healing and regeneration. Specifically, anti-inflammatory properties, immune-boosting properties, immune-modulating properties, and regenerative properties on every level. And so that is stem cells and how they operate. They're really big at three things: decreasing inflammation, that makes pain go away; tearing up scar tissue, that allows your body to move and work better; and it creates new tissue. Those are three big things they do at the same time, modulating the immune system. So that's stem cell regenerative medicine. Okay, I'm going to describe it to everybody the way you have taught me, Fulton. Exosomes. Okay, so let's just say the stem cells are the honeybees.
Yes.
Stem cells are the honeybees, and they do the work to create the honey.
Yes.
In all that environment. They create the honey. The honey's not alive, but it's a product of the live honeybees that keep working.
Yes.
Exosomes, stem cell-derived exosomes, are the honey. Stem cells are the honey bee, and the exosomes are the honey, the product of the working cell.
Correct. And, as we look at it, what you're saying there, you'd rather have the honey than the bee. It's much sweeter and it doesn't sting as bad. So as we've seen healthcare develop, and when I say healthcare, I'm talking about regenerative biologics. We're focused around stem cells here, okay? There's many different sources for product,
right.
okay?
Right.
But they're all perinatal with what we're currently working with. You do have xenograft, which is from animals, but we're going to leave that alone. We're talking about...
Easy. Here's what Fulton is saying. There are many places of getting stem cell regenerative medicine. Perinatal, what he's saying is they're coming from birth tissue.
Yes.
It's coming from birth tissue, umbilical cord tissue,
yes,
and placental tissue.
Yes.
That is the most potent. That is the gold standard. And it's not just one thing. There are different ways of getting multiple stem cell regenerative medicine products from that birth tissue.
Correct.
There's the umbilical cord tissue itself.
Yes.
The umbilical cord blood itself.
Yes.
The amniotic part of the placenta itself.
Yes.
There are multiple ways of doing this, and there are multiple products out there. You and I, we all just kind of talk about it as stem cells. That's a general name.
Yes.
That's a general name.
Correct. And when you get back to the exosomes are actually the cell excretions. Okay, so when you talk about the bee and the bee makes the honey. Well, guess what? The stem cells make the exosomes. Exosomes are nothing more than cells communicating together, and that's actually called paracrine signaling, okay? That's how the body's cells communicate with each other. And guess what? You and I know this. When you put a stem cell product in a patient's body, that doesn't become part of that patient's body, okay? But what it does through that paracrine signaling signaling is it tells the other cells, it identifies where the weaknesses are at, okay? And it forces it to improve. So that's where the regeneration comes from. It doesn't come from the stem cells, their self becoming part of you or the exosomes or whatever product we're talking about here. It comes from that signaling from those other cells. And it literally lines it up, it puts everything straight, and it washes out the discard or the trash.
Well, you and I spent all last year, we traveled the entire country.
Yes.
We traveled the entire country meeting up with the top scientists, the top labs in the regenerative medicine industry in this space. And the biggest thing that they continue to say over and over is it's not really the stem cells that we think are doing all the action.
That do the work.
They're actually activating the healing pathways in your body at an accelerated level.
Screaming.
Huge. At an accelerated level that's causing people to heal so fast. I mean, for example, the story I want to tell you about a patient where we use stem cell derived exosomes. Okay. Now the reason why we would use that instead of live cells is because there are a couple different reasons. Okay, depending on what area we're treating, whether it's a knee, a shoulder, or a foot, or if we're trying to modulate the immune system and do something intramuscular, intravenous. I think that's what Mike Tyson was doing.
Yes, that is
intravenous immune boosting.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Is that what it was? I didn't read the article.
It's just like an IV cocktail. Okay, so they're hooking them up to the to the juice with the needle and letting it. They're either forcing it in at a certain pace,
dripping in. Most people are familiar with vitamin infusions. We do them all day long.
Yes,
people love it,
and they're great.
Yeah, they're great.
Big boost of energy. And another thing, when we talk about this, especially in the exosomes, you and I have these conversations, we're talking about 300 and 400 billion particles, okay? So we're talking about cell particles in, exponential form. We when we first started and we were doing some cord blood products with some patients, we were talking about 30 million cells and 50 million cells.
We're talking billions.
We're talking billions.
We're hundreds talking fast acting,
hundreds
pain
of
relief,
billions.
Regeneration. This is another patient. There's so many patients. I hadn't even gotten back to this one I want to tell you about. But we took a re-x-ray of a patient's knee that we injected. And before and after, in a month, we're actually seeing joint space actually come back within a month, cartilage regrowing. Not only in the knee, but also in the cervical spine. We didn't even go directly into the spine. We went around the spine. And you're actually seeing degeneration, bone spurs, all these things, arthritis. You're seeing it reverse.
It's
never been seen before. Real quick. I want to tell you about this patient.
Okay.
She came in. Plantar fasciitis, both feet.
Okay.
Killing her to walk. I say, okay, here's the options. We can do some plasma, which is regenerative.
Yep.
We can do some exosomes, stem cell derived exosomes, which is regenerative. And we can do some live stem cells, which is regenerative. What do you want to do? Well, here's what we're doing. This plantar fasciitis, I want it fixed. Now I need to be pain free. Now I don't have a month. I don't have 2 months. I need it to work now, and this is how much money I have, okay? Well, there are different price scales on those three things, okay? The plasma's at the bottom of that. Yep. The live stem cells are at the top of that. The exosomes is about midway.
Yep.
So it's not as expensive as the live cells. Sorry about that. You told me to turn that off, didn't you?
Welcome to live.
The very day that she was there, we had the exosomes. We did the injections. Over the weekend, she went home. I saw her Monday. Done deal. It was over.
Fantastic.
Years of pain, years of walking on fire, years of walking on needles, severe pain, eliminated.
Yes.
At half the price of what she was getting quoted somewhere else. Not to mention the surgery they had her scheduled for.
Oh,
Done.
Yeah.
Done in 3 days.
Wow. Good deal.
3 days. It's amazing.
And it's like you said, you have the ability to do it right there on site. When the people come in, they don't have to wait. They can do it right then. So if my recommendation is, if anybody's in that type of pain, have inflammation and swelling, pain levels through the roof, come on in. Let's give it a look. Let's see what we can do today.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Dave. That's right. We do vitamin infusions just like we were just talking about. And that's what Iron Mike was doing. an infusion of those stem cell derived exosomes.
Yes.
Which the most powerful thing it's going to do are two things. It's going to give you a boost of energy like you've never seen before.
Immediately.
It's going to stimulate your immune system systemically.
Yes.
Which brings down inflammation. Can we tell you a story?
All right.
Can I tell you what I did?
Let me hear.
All right. This is off the record.
Off the record.
This is
Between you and me.
Let's just say hypothetically this happened, okay? Let's just say this might have happened. I may have dreamed this, okay? Because I'm not a medical provider. But imagine I dreamed that we had a vial of exosomes,
Okay.
stem cell derived exosomes, in our office the day before Thanksgiving, 2019. Had a patient, something happened where this patient couldn't make it to get this treatment.
Yes.
The exosomes, they're very particular, okay? They're like fine porcelain glass, and once they thaw from that very particular way of storing them, they have to be used.
Yes.
Or else they're done.
Yes.
So the patient failed. We're talking about, some expensive and very valuable medicine here.
Yes.
That is going to go bad over the Thanksgiving weekend because no patients are coming in. No one is scheduled Thursday through Monday. So I'm sitting here looking at a vial. If this were a true story, I'm sitting there looking at a vial of medicine. It's not going to be used.
Going to go bad.
It's going to go bad. So I'm not sure if this really happened or not because I'm not authorized to administer a medical procedure even to myself. But if I had that day, those exosomes went in my body.
Okay.
All right. Let's just say that happened.
Okay.
I didn't even think twice about it. Okay. Didn't even think twice about it. A month goes, you got the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And after Christmas, everybody's trying to get in shape.
Yep.
I don't really love running, but I run because I have to stay in some shape. I'm a heavyweight. Okay. If I'm not running a couple miles every day or every other day, putting on weight. Okay. So I like running 2-3 miles at least every other day. Christmas time's over. All right, let's get back on track. Let's start running. Let's get something done here. So I start running.
Okay.
2 miles, 3 miles, and I'm running 4 miles. Another day I'm running another mile. I'm running 4 or 5 miles at a time.
Okay.
No problem. Okay,
Yep.
I'm a heavyweight, 220. 220 running for any amount of time, you start feeling some achiness in the feet, the knees. The legs get sore.
Yep.
Breathing, 220.
Yep.
Heavyweight. Okay. 215. I am running 4, 5, 6 miles and still ready to run. I'd have to quit running. I ran out of time. I got stuff to do. And I'm thinking, am I getting in that good of a shape this fast? What is happening? And then finally, boom, flipped on like a switch. Systemically infused exosomes, stem cell derived exosomes in my body about a month earlier.
Yes.
And it created the systemic anti-inflammatory properties where I could breathe better.
Yes.
My feet weren't aching. My muscles weren't getting as tired and achy. I said, oh my goodness, this is amazing.
Yes.
That's when we started studying the protocols for intramuscular and intravenous exosomes at certain levels. And we started applying this to patients.
Yes.
And we're getting phenomenal results.
Yes.
People who are in pain are getting out of pain fast. Now, me, I'm not really in any pain. But like I said, when I go running, now I repeat the same process.
Yes.
Whether that was a dream or it really happened, now what I do is I get it administered by our medical team at Advanced Medical. And I do that systemic anti-inflammatory immune modulating exosome treatment.
Yes.
Regularly.
Yes.
Because I want to avoid, I want to be able to perform at my maximum. The patients who are in pain, fibromyalgia, systemic pain, autoimmune conditions where the immune system is attacking itself, it's working.
Yes.
What we've been reading about in the research, we're now seeing right here in Myrtle Beach at Advanced Medical. It's fun.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It is. And I remember us talking about way back in the beginning, finding the fountain of youth. And we knew stem cells were going to play a significant role, be the gold standard for what was going to take place for people living. Remember the blue zones? Yep. Remember back when we had the conversation about identifying the blue zones in the United States and North America and why the people live to be 110 years old and are healthy. Okay. Right. We know several things. We know their diet, we know their exercise, and we know their rest program was in place. Okay. We also know that with what you're talking about, the treatment you dreamed about, that's funny. I thought I saw that rerun on TV the other day, but maybe we did discuss that dream. But absolutely, we know that that is as close to the fountain of youth as we're currently seeing, period.
Where is that? That's where it's at.
It is all over where it's at. It is beyond where it's at. It is the beginning. And as the FDA continues to catch up, remember, as we discussed in our very first show, the FDA is reactive, not proactive. So they're not going to go out there and set this program for everybody to run.
Well, they can't do it.
They can't.
We do it.
We do it.
We do it.
We do
Show
it.
the efficiency of it, the effectiveness of it, the safety of it.
Yes.
And they create their guidelines based on what we're doing.
Based on the research and then the patient data. Okay, so for all these patients who come in and do this treatment, one of the most important things is to stay on track. You know, you have something good happen, you know, we'll look at diet. You lose 15, 20 pounds, all of a sudden you get to the point, I can have that piece of cake. I can have that ice cream. Okay, and you start to get back off track again. So although we're able to correct these issues with people, we need them to stay on track. So it's not a one and done.
Dude, it's not a magic bullet.
It's not. It's not
powerful. It's the best medicine, most effective medicine on the planet
that we can find.
But it's not magic.
It's not magic. It still takes their effort, their part. They have to participate. You know, we talk about the physical, the mental, and the overall well-being, okay? Let's get it right, but keep it right. What did they tell us when we were kids? It's easy to get on top. Staying there is where the challenge is at.
Oftentimes we see a lot of people at the office who are really bad off.
Yes.
And they've been really bad off for a long time.
Yes.
The great thing is when they start seeing, and I'm talking about years of suffering, years of pain, years of
life-changing events. They don't do things the same as they would.
They can't do anything.
No.
It changes their personality. It changes everything.
Yes.
Everything changes. And when they start seeing a glimmer of hope,
yes,
and that pain starts going away, Fulton, I'm telling you, they don't take it for granted. They do not take it for granted. They keep getting better and they keep getting better, and they start making new commitments on how to stay active. I'm walking now a mile a day. I'm getting out with my husband and I'm going to the beach. I can now walk on the beach. So I'm doing this, and what's happening is because they're investing time, they're investing money, and taking control of their health, they now feel empowered.
Yes.
They're empowered.
They are empowered.
And I do not see many people, at least that we take care of. Now, we educate them. We help them understand. We have a lot of smart patients. But I don't see them regressing. They really don't. They're valuing a new medicine.
They are pushing forward. And, you know, I'll be honest, I even saw on the board in your office the saying by Thomas Edison about, you know, in the future, medicine will be, when you go see a physician, he won't prescribe you medicine. He's going to, he's literally going to tell you how to improve your body to live a better life, you know.
Human frame, your nutrition. Yeah, that's the deal. He said it a long time ago.
Yes, yes. The body is the temple, you know. It's our job to protect it and treat it right and maintenance it properly.
And everybody knows this. What's happened is we live in a luxurious country. We have all the luxuries, and we've kind of taken that for granted. We've been eating it up, living it up. However, there comes a point in time where you got to mature. You got to mature.
Grow up.
And unfortunately, for some of us, that only happens when we're suffering.
It's too late.
Too late.
It was too late.
It's no longer too late.
No.
I took an X-ray of a bone on bone.
Yes.
A month ago. We re-X-rayed it.
Yes.
No more bone on bone.
Yes.
It's a formal medical miracles are everyday practice now.
And you know, it's with one of the products we just discussed as well. You know, it's within our wheelhouse. Every day it is at the office. You have it. It's available. Okay. The longest wait they have is time for it to thaw, which 20 minutes.
We have to get past people being confused. They're hearing different things here and there. The orthopedics are getting on board with what you and I have been doing and studying for 3 years. And we said it. We said once they start realizing the results that we're producing, they're going to get on board with it. And they are.
Yes.
They don't understand it. And the bad part about that is I've seen some orthopedics and had some patients come in that go and get a treatment done at their office. But if you're not an expert at how to apply accurately and
Yes.
precisely these cells. It's not like sticking somebody with cortisone.
No, it's
There's
not.
an art to it.
Yes.
And what happens is they'll go and they'll get a bad taste for regenerative medicine because it didn't work when the orthopedic did. Nah, it always works because it's science. It needs to be applied accurately and precisely every time with some surrounding factors that these orthopedists who do surgery, they're just not aware of.
Yes.
It's not their fault. They haven't been trained.
Well, they're working within a box, okay?
That's
so
right.
when they go to the to the operating room, guess what? They don't have a choice in what they use. That's already
right.
decided for them, okay? So, but you did say a very important thing is, knowing, understanding what you do and why what you do works, okay? So we've already learned, we've known this for a while, that where that product comes from, where that regenerative biologic comes from in that perinatal material, different things work in different places better.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
We do know that. Now, in 10 years, we'll know what works best where.
Oh, no, dude. Within about probably 3 to 4 years, we're going to have target cells. Remember we talked about that?
Yes.
We talked to those scientists?
We did.
Target cells. These exosomes, these stem cells are going to target the heart. This is going to target the lungs. This is going to target the joint. So it's on.
It is on and agreed. But once again, to complement what you're saying there is we will have the information in the next 3 to 4 years. But don't forget, we've got to wait for the FDA to play their part and do their catch-up. So by the time it really hits the market, it's going to take several more years, okay? So we know the information is right around the corner for us. We're ready to use that information, but we're also going to do it, as you and I discuss every time, within the guidelines of the FDA.
That's right. Well, we got to wrap it up. Hey, I appreciate everybody for listening. Hey, Fulton, it was a pleasure.
Thank you,
again,
Dr.
my man.
Scott. It always
Dave.
is.
Yeah. Hey, bye, everybody.